What is up, everybody? Ray and Brennan back again with Franchise Tag Fantasy Football, bringing you an absolute heater. Today, Brennan, today is the day.
It is the day.
Today is the day we talk about Bryce Thumb himself,
Don't
Bryce Young.
disrespect the short king like that. Don't you do that.
Oh, let me tell you, I got a lot of hate to spew. A lot of hate to spew. Ladies and gentlemen, please stick around. We're going to have a lot of hot takes today. We are going to talk about probably the 101 in the 2023 upcoming draft. I think that he shouldn't be. But Brennan,
Yes, sir.
let's get this started. Walk us through a day in the life of a living Smurf.
Oh, what a hater you are. Just because he's basically the same. He's a little bit shorter than me. He's 5'10".
He's not. He's 5'6". Let's get it right.
No, he's not. He's 5'10". He weighed in at 204 pounds. He's got 9 3/4 of an inch, and his 40 time was about 4.7. That was about estimated time. So that's the day in the life of the number one overall pick.
Sure. All right. So things about Bryce Young, right? An undersized athletic gamer who possesses if you quoted this, lasso for an arm, I don't know what that is all about, and is the consummate team leader, has experienced the biggest stages that college football can offer, has played against all of the talent, has been on a pro style offense, has been touted as the saving grace for a franchise that traded up the farm to get there.
Yes, they did.
That's the only reason why they're going to do it. That's the only reason why, Brennan. That's it.
What? Oh, the fact that he's actually the best quarterback in this draft class. He is the best. He is the best quarterback in this draft class.
As it stands right now, if he didn't have an offensive line that was 6'5" or higher, sure. Brennan, let's talk about his pros.
Okay. Let's talk about the pros here. So he's probably the most poised guy when you watch him play. He's never ever showing duress, even when he's down, when he's up, he's always the same. He plays in a pro style attack, just like we talked about. He shows the ability to dial up focus in big fourth quarter situations. I watched it plenty of times. He locates and avoids lurking trouble in zone coverage. He uses eye manipulation very well. That's why he's number one. He really is really good at manipulating the DBs. He's unfazed by incoming rush. You can watch that all throughout his tape. He's got very good pocket presence. He actively reroutes through his receivers, and when he can extend every play possible. And he makes defenses pay when he breaks and contains and improvises. That's like his hugest thing, is that he can just do what he needs to do. He reminds me, it's some crazy taking call out, but he reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. When you watch him play, he reminds me of Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, let's go to his cons. I'll go into his cons. Now, first things I want to just get off my chest, because I think it's ridiculous. There are photos that you can look at on the internet right now as we speak. You can go to Google while you're listening to me. Type in Bryce Young standing next to Nick Saban. Nick Saban himself is 5'6". Bryce Young is standing next to him, the same height, with cleats and helmet on, at 5'6". There is no shot in any part of hell that Bryce Young is any taller than 5'7". There's no shot. He also does not weigh 204 pounds. If you look at his frame, you look at his size, he's a very undersized quarterback. Very undersized. The other part that I would say that really stood out when you watch his tape, he has an underwhelming arm. That's the best way you can put it. He doesn't have a cannon. He doesn't have a hell of a zip. He has enough to get the ball there. Reminds me a lot of Tua when he throws the ball. A lot. Their arm strength is very similar. The one thing that really stood out, and you can watch this on every tape that you want to talk about, because of his height and because of his limitations as a shorter quarterback, he has to take a further drop back. He can't see over the line, so he has to step further back to be able to see plays develop. That's going to hurt him in the NFL bad, because he doesn't have, I know his comp is Drew Brees, he doesn't have the arm that Drew Brees did. And he doesn't, I understand that he has a good delivery in the ball, but you can see him check down so much more because he was having to sit further back in the pocket, and he cannot deliver a ball over the middle of the field linebackers that are sitting there.
Oh, it's very interesting. Hey, let me ask you a question. Hey, how many batted balls did he have down in his career?
You can say he only had one batted ball. That's fine.
He had one batted ball down. So the height's not an issue, clearly.
That's fine. I will also like to caveat that with the fact that he was also playing on the most dominant team in the SEC, period. I don't think there was really
No,
a
Georgia was more dominant. Georgia was way more
so.
dominant.
So you're saying that when he's playing like I don't know Georgia Southern, does that make a difference?
No, but like he has played like legit talent. Like he played Ole Miss, he played LSU, he played Auburn, he played Kansas State. He was in that game, and he threw. All he had to do was literally throw. He literally played, I think, the first half in that Sugar Bowl. What was it? He had like 21 pass attempts for 15 completed and 5 touchdowns, and then he was like, "I'm done."
Okay. So the point that I'm trying to make here now let's formulate this whole thing, this whole egg that I'm trying to serve up to everybody is he's played on a team that is arguably better than the majority of the teams that he's playing against. Correct? Talent wise,
Yes,
they have the more talented roster. 90% of the time they're going to step in the field. When I'm talking about Alabama against name a team outside of Georgia. So now he's going to go to a team that is deficient in talent, deficient in an offensive line if he goes to Houston. If he goes to Carolina, his offensive line is a little better.
he's going to Carolina. He's going to
But
Carolina.
still, I'm pretty sure he is too. But still not that great. So now you're going to sit there and say that he's an undersized quarterback with, let's just say he has an average arm. Not necessarily a high level of athleticism, no weapons around him. I don't necessarily think that it's going to work out. People want to say like, oh, Kyler Murray can make it happen. Kyler Murray's a hell of a lot faster than him and built a hell of a lot better than he is. There's so many negatives that I can't believe that no one's seen this.
That's just so silly because, like, if you just sit there and like watch him play, and let's refer to like Nick Saban. Nick Saban has spoken up about his quarterbacks, but he's never once raved as much as he has over one quarterback, and his name is Bryce Young. He's literally said if he could have Bryce Young for the rest of his career, he would do that. He's never once said about Mac Jones, never once said about Tua, never once said about Jalen Hurts. He's literally said about one player. He said, if I could have Bryce Young for the rest of my career, I will gladly do that. And do it over and over and over again.
In the last 30 years, Jalen Hurts is the most successful quarterback to come out of Alabama.
Sure.
In the NFL.
Yes, sure.
Outside of that, I mean, you're talking about like AJ McCarron and things.
Yes.
So like him raving about it, that doesn't necessarily. Alabama's not known for quarterbacks, and him saying that, sure, that's a nice voucher for somebody. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're looking at it in context with what else he's played with, I don't think Tua is generational at all. I think Tua is a backup in the NFL at best. I think Mac Jones is probably a backup on.
I'm not a big Mac Jones believer, but he's just an average. He's an average. He's a game manager. I think Tua is also a game manager. I think, but Bryce Young's not a game manager. Bryce Young's a game changer.
See, that's where I think the difference is being made here. And I really wanted to see where you thought that. And I know you say he's a game changer. I don't think that this brings me to my next question. What is.
Oh, did I lose service? Oh, I got you back. Oh, wait, nope.
I'm seeing.
Okay, yes, I see. Okay. I got you. Yes, say it again.
We're good?
Yes, we're good. Sorry about that, folks.
Okay. Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. I don't know what just happened. This is the first time we've ever seen that before. We're using a new streaming service, or I guess a recording service. So work with us through the bugs. So I apologize. What does Bryce Young do that is elite?
His
right now
pocket awareness is elite. He's got elite pocket awareness. He can move defenders with his eyes. He can change. He changes like receivers' routes in the pocket. He does everything you ask for him to do.
Okay. So when you look at his draft profile from NFL.com and all of their analytics they put him behind it, they do state specifically that he puts himself in pressure situations when he didn't need to because he's trying to get around his line. He's trying to be able to see down the field. Do you think that's going to be an issue in the NFL?
Sure, but I'm assuming he's going to fix it and gather through because he's always done that. He's been phenomenal throughout his entire career. So like it'll be a learning lesson, I think. And trust me, I'm not a big Frank Reich fan, but he's very good with creating his offenses. So I think he'll be fine with Carolina. Now I think he'll slack a little bit in the game because having just DJ Chark and Adam Thielen as your wide receivers going into camp, but I think he'll be okay. It'll be a slow start, but he'll start to figure things out as things go on.
I think him going to Carolina saves him from being a 2 or 3 year bust. That's exactly what I think it is. Because if he went to Houston, that's exactly what's going to happen. Whoever goes to Houston, it's a wasted pick. They shouldn't even draft a quarterback. They should just start building a team around a quarterback before they even take one next year in Caleb Williams. But that's neither here nor there. I don't think he goes to Houston. So what do you think his comparison is in the NFL right now?
So let me ask you, if he was just a couple inches taller, what would you think he reminds you of?
It would still be Tua.
Oh my God!
It would still be Tua.
He scrambles way better than Tua. He's able to. Yes, he's able to scramble. Yes, he scrambles way better than Tua. It's night and day difference. Nowhere close. Honestly, call me crazy. His comp is Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my God, no.
His comp is Patrick Mahomes.
It's not.
It is. His comp is Patrick Mahomes.
There is so little of things that Bryce Young does that are similar to Patrick Mahomes. He has maybe half of the arm that Patrick Mahomes has.
Maybe you can say the arm talent strength's not there, but everything else is literally the same.
I don't think his athleticism is anywhere near what Patrick Mahomes is.
You need to go back and watch how he get his pocket awareness and how much he can move out of the pocket and he can dodge from defenders and everything else like that.
I can't wait until we're doing this 3 years from now and we can reach back.
Yeah, sure. I can't wait either. And I'm going to sit here with a smile on my face saying, I told you Bryce Young is still good.
Bryce Young is out of the league. He's in the XFL now.
Oh,
he's selling used cars.
Jesus.
I don't know. I don't buy the hype. I do not necessarily think that he's not my cup of tea. He's not.
Sure. I would kill the Colts draft and I'd be the most happiest man alive. I'd be like, this is great. So I would be super stoked. And I think Carolina is too. The fact that they traded up the farm, I think it's been well documented. I guess they were already in on Bryce Young. They threw smoke screens here and there, but I guess from the very beginning, it's been Bryce Young.
What is it at that point when they traded it up? When they traded up,
you had to have known the selection. You had to know when you've done that. Like, no matter what, this is it, unless something dramatically changes.
But what does it even matter in the smokescreen part of it? I'm not saying that that's wrong because they did do that, but why? What's the point?
Maybe they can have a team if a team really really loves somebody else besides Bryce Young. All the smokescreens were CJ Stroud for a while, and then because obviously their quarterback coach was like, "Oh, wait for you to buy a house here." So if someone really loves Stroud, and maybe they can trade down. But even at that point, I don't think they would get anything close from the Texans. I think that they were trying to nitpick at the Texans to kind of move up one, but I don't think it was going to happen. I think at the end of the day, they made that trade knowing damn well that it was going to be Bryce Young, no matter what. It was it.
Well, my comp, I think that you guys have heard it already. I think it's a slightly more athletic Tua, but I don't think that it's going to be much different than that to me.
Terrible.
I would think that if he were to have a ceiling, it would be not Drew Brees, but close to it, but not Drew Brees. He's not going to be, I don't see him as a Hall of Fame right out the gate, guys lighting the league on fire kind of thing. I don't see that as happening. And Drew Brees didn't do that either, but it would just be pretty shocking. But where would you take him in a dynasty draft?
If it was like a non-super flex, like just a regular one quarterback, probably in the second round, because again, when it comes to non-super flex, it's not really needed. You already have your 12 quarterbacks there. So probably mid to late second, possibly third, but in the super flex, I think he's been going around like the first round, like 110, 111 in most I've seen. So I think most people are taking Anthony Richardson just because the ceiling is higher for fantasy. So, but he's been going around like pick 110.
So let me ask you, and this is just personal off of what you would do in a Superflex dynasty, because I think this is really important with these level of quarterbacks. It's important.
Yes.
Would you take Bryce Young over Anthony Richardson in a super draft if you had let's say 110, 111, he's there?
If both are there?
Yeah. You have the selection of either.
Man, I think it really depends on Anthony Richardson's location too, and my team. But long term, you'll hear me throughout the show. I play to win. I either I'm getting first or I'm getting last. And I think Anthony Richardson's ceiling is higher than Bryce Young's ceiling. So I'll take the upside of the fantasy perspective of Anthony Richardson.
I would agree. Anthony Richardson has the lowest, the second lowest floor of any of these quarterbacks we're talking about. But he absolutely 100% has the highest ceiling for sure.
So that's where I would sit. I think it's if you play to win. That's what I'll tell everybody on the show. I'll preach it constantly. You play to win. So either you're gonna win or you're gonna lose. I'd rather win.
Are you willing to, and this is going off of Dynasty, and now we're talking about regular redraft or even a keeper league. Let's just talk about that. Are you willing to take a shot on Bryce Young late in the draft? Has to be late because you're not going to take him anywhere near the 9th round or sooner. Nowhere.
No, I'd still Anthony Richardson if he's in a position to start. If he's not, if I go, let's say Anthony Richardson goes like to Seattle, he's going to sit. Then I'd probably contemplate like a Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, like the very end. I always like to take like my last pick. I always like to take like a higher upside player, like a rookie. Like I did like my what was he like 2012? I did Andrew Luck. The years before, I've done like always like those like guys who I think can like excel to be that position. So I would take Bryce Young with like my last pick or like CJ Stroud. So.
Yeah, I would do it. And this is to add more context to like a redraft situation. I would definitely think about taking Bryce Young if I were to have waited on a quarterback. Let's say I got if I got lucky and got Trevor Lawrence late, or if I had to even wait longer and I had to go with a Daniel Jones or a Jared Goff as my starting quarterback, I would take a shot on maybe if Bryce Young is there at the end of the draft, take a shot on that, see what happens.
Because you just don't know what happens with those like late tier. Obviously, you have the top 6 guys. My apologies here. But yeah, like you can take the chances of the late guys here. And then, because, you never know what Jared Goff, like, the top 6 guys, like, we consider Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, those guys, like, for sure thing, you don't have to worry about a backup quarterback. But with those guys, you might have to worry a little bit.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you had a guy that you were on the fence about, like, oh man, I don't know if I like that or not, that's probably when I would take a look at rostering 2 quarterbacks, and might as well, if Anthony Richardson's there, I'm going to take that shot because of his rushing upside. I think that the writing's on the wall is going to be a Colt. There's no way he's not. I wouldn't believe it. If you got money, put it on Vegas right now.
What?
But
who's going to be a Colt?
Anthony Richardson.
Oh,
I think he's going to be a Colt.
Man. I don't know. He might be the second quarterback off the. Will Levis actually is now got the best odds to be the second quarterback off the board. So I don't know. I'm not sure, man.
I'm not even looking forward.
I'm nervous.
I'm not even looking forward to doing Will Levis' show. It's gonna be us shitting on a guy for like 10 minutes. It's
yeah.
I don't know, but I think that's the key I was trying to get to is that if you're sketchy on a quarterback, that's when I would take a look. But outside of that, you're usually only rostering one quarterback. You're streaming the other one if you needed it, but that's just in a one quarterback redraft or a keeper league. Brendan, anything else about Bryce Thumb himself?
The slander for the short king is it's been too much for too long, and you will see come this season why he was the 101 pick and why the Carolina traded the farm for him. You will see. You will eat your words.
I can't wait. Okay,
how about this? How about this? If he busts, I will come back on the podcast show with a shirt saying, "I am dumb for liking Bryce Young."
Look at that. We even have a shirt lady. That brings us into the next segment. Look, guys, if you guys would like to have a little bit of merch, we do have merch available. You just have to hit the comments, let me know, and I will get you guys a shirt. Honestly, I'm thinking about on the house. If you guys hit that comment up, I might want to drop you one.
Oh, dang.
You want a shirt? Look at that, balling out of control. But, guys, until next time, please make sure that you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let us know what you guys are thinking. If you guys want us to cover somebody right before the draft or on the draft or after the draft, let us know in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on our Twitter page. We're going to be updating that more and more. And our new TikTok. We got a new TikTok. You see it right on the bottom.
Shortly. Yep.
Right there. You see it on the bottom. But until next time, guys. See you later.